Salute, MobTube. How's everybody doing today? All right. I apologize. Okay. I had the show scheduled for 4, and I just wasn't going to make it. 4:05, I believe. I was on the phone with somebody. This happens to me quite often. If it's a very important conversation, I just stay on the phone. I actually showered while I was on the phone. I'm not bullshitting you. I figured out how to do that now because it's necessary sometimes. And then I still couldn't even make it for 4:30. I'm still late. What time is it? 4:38. You should all punish me somehow, but just do it after this show because I want you to watch and talk to me about addiction recovery. um, we got 10 people watching right now. I can't even imagine what this one's going to turn out like. And I say that because this is the first addiction recovery show since I took down all those videos. And taking down all those videos is what fucked up my algorithm. Okay, so we might have a fucking 22 people watching this show tops. We'll see. But I don't care. Even if there's just one of you, it's worth doing these shows. Dave, Albaz, Miss Can't Be Wrong, War, Midwest Mafia Productions, Danny Green, Sally, Christopher Capello, that's Faxby, Frankie Rizzo, thank you for being a member for 12 months, my friend. Thank you very, very much. Let me see over here. Who else we got? Did I shout Dave out? I think I did. Michael Hensley, we love you too. I'm glad you're home, man. I hope you had a good day. What's up, John DeLong? 30 lashes with a wet noodle. I know, Miss Can't Be Wrong. I feel like shit. I just saw it like 5 minutes ago and I was on the phone, so I didn't get a chance to look at it. But I will. I wish I already did so I could talk about it on this show, but I guess hopefully next time we'll get to it. Sally, $5. There's another live just started. Who? Not even matters. This is an addiction recovery show. I mean, we're not going to get 200 people anyway, but who started? Because it's awfully cluttered these days, crowded. Who was it? Oh, really? That's odd. Employee of the month? Nice, John. Nice. All right, so guys, this is going to be one of those shows. Hey, Jesse, I don't have a lot of addiction and recovery stuff on my mind, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to let you guys lead. You tell me what it is you want to talk about, and I will talk about it. And if anybody wants to hop on, grab the link and talk to me about addiction and recovery, I'm down. I am working on having some guests on this, particular show, the addiction and recovery show. It's not this episode, but I'm working on it. I think that's the way to go right now. So, and I think you'll enjoy who I get if it all works out. Maybe even some semi-famous guests. We'll see. But I have plans for that. And it'll be good because it'll be people that everyone wants to see, not just addiction recovery, people. So it might bring more people to this community, and maybe people who are struggling with addiction now will watch and say, oh, maybe I should watch these shows more often. Maybe they'll go into treatment. Who knows? So give me some ideas, people. Otherwise, I'll ramble like an idiot, like usual. But I don't even know if I have anything to ramble about today. I'm fucking 52 months clean and sober, and I'm damn happy about it. The 21st of this month was 52 months. 4 years, buddy. 4 years. I love this shirt. Let's see. Yeah, it is. It is. It's good, John. I'm glad you're doing well at work. Thank you, Miss Can't Be Wrong. Subconscious triggers. Give me some examples. I think I know what you mean. But give me some examples. War. Let's see. Did you watch my 600-pound life like you said? Thoughts on food addiction? You know, I will try it again. But that night that we talked about it with who? I think Nadu, I put an episode on. I just couldn't get into it. You know, it's depressing. Thank you, John DeLong. I'm proud of you as well, my friend. Edward Everett. Robert B. I know Robert B has been looking forward to the next addiction recovery show. I wanted to slip one in today, so to speak, you know, because I haven't done one in a couple of weeks, which I hate, but it's just how it worked out, you know. Let me see. I'm waiting for War to give me some examples of subconscious triggers. Like if you have a parent that consistently tells you not to do something, but they do it. Didn't we have this conversation recently, War? I believe we did, right? On the phone, I mean. Danny Green, what's good, my brother? Keep doing these shows, man. The main reason I respect you is because you do shows to try and help people. You're an honorable dude. Thank you, bro. I try. It's very important to me. You know, very important to me. If you know anybody could be helped by these, and I mean anybody, uh, it's my honor. And I'm very very proud of the fact that I'm able to provide any type of help, and you guys are as well. I told you guys, you know, I look for shit to do to help people when it comes to addiction recovery. I do. That's why I've said before, if people are serious, not just because they want to ride or they want to hang out, you know, if anybody were to need transportation or something to get themselves into treatment, or even maybe a little money to get them started in treatment, because you do need things, of course. You need money no matter where you go. You might be a smoker, you need cigarettes, one of the few things they allow you to have in rehab. Things like that, you know. Yeah, you might want food so you could, you know, or money so you could get snacks and shit if you're able to get day passes, or however it works in that particular rehab. You know, I would be glad to help because I'm honored to have the opportunity to help people, you know, and um, you know, I want to make it clear that you would never be bothering me if you reached out to me for something like that. Never, never. Even if you just want to talk on the phone, if you're struggling, if you're in recovery and you're thinking about relapsing, um, you know, you could call me, you could email me, text me. If you don't have my number, you know, email me and I'll give you my number. And if you're having a tough time and you need to get into treatment, I'll do everything I can to help you get started. John DeLong, I haven't had a drink in 2 years. To be honest, I lost interest in drinking. I kind of feel you on that, John. Me too, but I still crave it from time to time. You know, and War, I'm gonna get to what you were talking about. I'm not ignoring it at all. I'm trying to get through some comments. Yes, yeah, absolutely, War. Yeah. Sally, I used to get triggered by pizza commercials when they would throw flour in the pan, look like Coke. Really, Sally? That's interesting. Wow. Yeah, that's I think that you'd call that a subconscious trigger. Yeah, that's crazy. That I never thought about that. You know, I don't know if I'd say I've been triggered, but you know, I'll watch certain things. It's never like something that symbolizes Coke, you know, or resembles Coke like you're talking about. It's Coke. You know, I'll see like one of these busts where they got a bunch of fucking bricks hollowed out and packed with Coke. I'm not talking about kilos. I'm talking about actual bricks that you build with. Or shingles. I've seen fucking busts where they fucking zillion shingles were shipped from another South American country to here or some shit, and they're just hollowed out and packed with cocaine. I've seen all type boats. They fucking they take these little fucking boats like dinghies. They fucking you ever see that shit where they pack it with coke, they smoke it, and not smoke, but I mean they smoke the wood. Uh and they send these little boats over and shit, and they're filled with cocaine. There's all types of different ways they've done it. And that's like, oh my god. Even watching Scarface, man, I'd love to stick my head in a pile of cocaine. Like he did. but can't do it. What's up, Tony Ducks? I feel like I was just on the phone with you for an hour and a half. Yizzo to Tone, what's up, bro? Look at this. See what you get in here? Danny Green, I'm in the Boston area. If anyone ever needs a ride to rehab, hospital, a bed, whatever, whenever. Yes, I feel you. You already know where I'm at. Everybody does. And you don't have to be in this specific area, but within reasonable distance, I'll gladly come get you, And if I can't do it myself, I'll find someone who can. Thank you, Jesse. I don't know if I'm a good man, but I try to be a good man. John DeLong, you help a lot of people when I watch you, and everyone on here makes everyone on here. It makes me feel better. Oh yeah, and let me reread that. You help a lot of people when I watch you, and everybody on here. It makes me feel better. Makes me feel better too, bro. But I'm glad that you get some comfort out of this shit. I think everybody does. The chat especially. Forget about me. The chat. I think that's what really stands out. All I do is talk, but you guys in the chat, show each other a lot of support and stuff. John DeLong, because I don't feel alone when I watch you and everybody on here. Bingo, John. Yes, that's what I think a lot of people feel, is that you're not. You come on here, and whether there's a day like today, 30 fucking people or our usual 70 to 90, whatever it may be. And there's a whole bunch of people feeling what you're feeling, who have gone through the same shit, who struggle with the same demons you struggle with. And we all got each other's backs. So yeah, man, I'm glad I could provide that. Danny Green, I was never an addict, but I was on the other side of it. I was selling in my neighborhood for years. Nowadays, I feel partially responsible for the problem in my city. I do my best to try and help. I hear that, Danny Green. And I know as drug dealers, we were not good people. But there's also the other side of it is that, for every drug dealer that quits hustling or gets locked up or gets killed, there's 10 to fucking replace him. So it's not like if you weren't there, the problem would have been less serious. There's always going to be people to sell drugs everywhere, no matter what. Watching the movie Blow makes me think and smell it. Oh, I know. The smell. Oh my God. If like I even walk into like a nail shop with Shannon or something and I smell the acetone, sends me to a dark, dark place. Man, I'm not kidding. Hey, Jane Creek. Dude. Jesse Roth, FBS, when my mom was cremated and I had to go pick her up from the funeral home, they actually gave me a certificate, aside from death certificate, that if I got pulled, would prove she wasn't on drugs. I don't know. What does that mean, Jesse? If I got pulled? I don't know what you mean by that. It is, Sally. It really is. It's a community for sure. And I'm telling you guys, I'm going to bring you some good stuff on these addiction and recovery shows, just like my regular shows, Penelope Cruz in the movie Blow. Until, she got all fucking skinny and, it's like, ugh, I don't want to see that happen to Penelope. There's one bad motherfucker right there. Penelope Cruz. Pulled over by cops. All right, let me read that again. FBS, when my mom was cremated and I had to go pick her up from the funeral home, they actually gave me a certificate, aside from death certificate, that if I got pulled over, would prove she wasn't on drugs. But she's deceased. I'm so confused. What is that fucking... Do you mean like... I don't know what you mean. Well, are you joking? I don't know what to say. Ashes were drugs? Wait, let me read it again. Where the fuck is it now? Oh, she wasn't drugs. Oh, I'm sorry, Jesse, I'm an asshole. I told you. Sometimes when you read things, you see what you expect to see and not what's actually there. She wasn't drugs. I get it. See who fixed it for me? Danny Green. She was powder. Now I understand. I thought it said she wasn't on drugs. I'm like, but she's gone. I'm sorry for your loss, Jesse, but that's kind of funny. That is. I would especially need something like that. Certain people, such as myself, when we get pulled over, they automatically are looking for things, depending on where it is. Like if I get pulled over in New York City, they run my name and immediately they're going to want to search the car, even though I don't do a fucking thing wrong anymore. Your reputation follows you, unfortunately. Not to confiscate her mother's ashes. That would be fucked up, man. I was extremely confused. Did you ever see Rescue Me, the vortex scene with the ashes in the car? Did you ever see that? When the, the dude wanted to open the box of ashes and they were telling him not to. And just as he opened the box, a couple of guys put their windows down and the fucking ashes. And they were on their way to spread the ashes, in front of the family and everything. They were all firefighters. And they had to go buy cake mix and they got red velvet cake mix. That is a fucking classic scene. And I love that show. Yeah, I'd be shocked too. I'd be like, wow, that's a thing. But that goes to show you that cops in this country at one point or another have pulled somebody over and thought that I'm sorry, let me try that again. An urn full of ashes might have been cocaine. It's guess when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Danny Green, FPS, if you were wondering, that was me today. Sent you a Facebook friend request today. You know what, Danny Green? I might have deleted you. Did I accept it? I get a lot, man. If I deleted you and I didn't accept it, just send it again and I will. Oh, I accept it. Okay, good. Robert B, I'm sorry I wanted to pop on, but a buddy just pulled up. I haven't seen him forever. Have a great show. I'll pop in next time. Stay clean and sober. We just got to make it through today. Love you. Love you too, bro. Yeah. That's no excuse. I want you on this show now. No, I'm just fucking. Enjoy your time with your friend, buddy. All right, so subconscious triggers, like War was talking about. We had a conversation the other day, and I don't know if I ever said this on here, but I wonder this. I told War this. Like War said in the chat, how come, or sometimes we do, uh, quite often actually, we do things we were told not to do. That's how life works. That's just a human nature, no matter what the situation is. But I wonder something about myself. Okay. I want to stress yet again that I was never a drug person as a kid. And I mean, in my teen fucking my early teens and shit, when all my friends were doing drugs, I wouldn't. I told you I wouldn't even smoke weed. I would drink here and there, not heavy at first, but drugs were out for me. There was in my mind there was nothing you could do to ever get me to try cocaine. Never. And here's the fucked up part about the whole thing. My dad was so anti-drug that he pounded it into our heads as kids never to do drugs, no matter what. Not pills, not coke, not dope, not nothing. Not even weed. Because he never did drugs. My mom never did drugs. And my father was dead set against it. But guess which drug he really stressed to me as far as like what drug not to do. Guess which one it was that he really, really, really pounded into my brain never to do. Guess which one? This is an easy guess. I'll light a cigarette while you guys guess. Let me see. Let me put something in my YouTube thing. Hold on. Cocaine. Yeah, of course. Yeah. That was the one. I think I did talk about this because we talked about that after school special, right? Where the little kid saw his brother doing coke, and then yeah. My dad, for some reason, man, shut up, fatty, was always pounding it into my head. I think just because it was the '80s, when I was a little kid, of course, and then as I got a teen, I became a teenager, early '90s, shit like that. Okay, you know what time it was. You know how old I am. That's the stuff and yes, even as a little kid, he told me that. I don't you just he told me a lot of weird shit as a kid. He told me about the mafia, all these things. But he always pounded it into my head. And I think it's because, my brother was older and he had already started dabbling. Okay. And I don't know what my brother was doing. Maybe it was cocaine, and that's why. I don't know. Or maybe my dad just knew more about it than other drugs. I have no fucking idea, but obviously in the '80s and early '90s, I would say powder cocaine was all the rage, unless you're in the fucking hood or the ghetto and it's crack cocaine, you know? Always told me not to do powder. And that became my drug of choice, other than alcohol, along with alcohol, I should say. So till this day, I wonder, yes, I do wonder, like, I hated him. You don't understand. As a kid, I fucking hated him. Oh my god, I can't even tell you. It was a nonstop fucking war zone in my house. It was fucking constant screaming and fighting and breaking things, and people getting hurt in my house. Okay, and I hated him. I don't feel that way today, but that's how I felt then. So I do wonder, was this just another big fuck you to him? Because why Coke? Now, of course, there's obvious reasons like, well, that just happened to be what I was selling, but I was also selling crack, and I never did that. I did acid a couple times, but I sold different things. I sold pills and stuff when I was a teenager, a little bit, not regularly, here and there. I was never into pills. I sold fucking weed like Jesus Christ. I was the biggest weed dealer in this area. No kidding. I was selling pounds upon pounds of fucking week, minimum 10 pounds a week. Okay. I never took a personal, never. The 7 or 8 times in my life I smoked weed, I was just somewhere where weed was being smoked. One time I did it because I was geeking out so badly from Coke. I wanted it to calm me down. And guess what? It made it worse. It threw me into a full blown anxiety fucking attack. I thought I was having a heart attack. All right. Weed is my enemy. I fucking hate it. Hate it. Um, but it just became Coke. Coke was my drug of choice. Even with all the other things I had around me. I told you I tried ecstasy once. Even ecstasy, I tried it once. It was so good, and I'm not trying to, urge anybody to try it. Do not. I'm just telling you my experience with ecstasy was beautiful. I felt so fucking good. Now I understood why they call it ecstasy. Okay. Did it once, and you know what I said the next day? I said that was too good, therefore I'm never doing it again. So I could control that. The acid thing a couple times, controlled that. Weed, never got into it. Sold crack for decades, never, well, on and off. Never did that. But powder cocaine, man, that was it. That was it for me. Opioids too, never. Even when I got them after surgery, I didn't take them. I just dealt with the fucking pain. Because I'd rather be in pain for a couple of fucking weeks than get hooked on that shit. So yeah, I wonder. Oh shit, nice. I do wonder if you know, that's why I almost subconsciously even chose cocaine. Like subconsciously meaning I without even realizing that this is a drug I'm choosing to do, possibly for a reason such as, what I just spoke of. I you know what I'm saying. Like I chose powder cocaine without even realizing why I'm choosing it. But chances are it was something psychological, like this is just another way to say fuck you to your dad. Which was stupid because at that point, my dad hadn't even been around for a couple of years when I first tried cocaine. But still, in your mind, you're still getting revenge. You think in your mind you're getting revenge on somebody when really you're just destroying yourself. You know. And the funny part is, um, yeah, I guess you know what? Maybe it was 2012 to 2014. Sometime in 2014, I was seeing my dad because one of the last times I saw him was right after I was thinking 20. Yeah, yeah, that sounds about right. Um, One of the last times I saw him, I just got diagnosed with congestive heart failure. You know, so life is weird, man. Things happen for reasons most of us never even think about, I guess. And maybe, all that didn't happen for a reason, but I do wonder, and I'll always wonder if I, but considering how dead set against drugs I was, especially hard drugs, the drugs I promised myself I would never do. It was ingrained in me since I was a little boy. I chose cocaine and I went balls deep into it. It's not like I never dabbled with cocaine. Let me make that clear. I had it. There was no need to dabble. So once I tried it, I realized I liked it. I was all in. So I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'm nuts. Maybe it just was the fact that it was always around me and all my friends were doing it, or maybe it was something else like I just spoke of. We are, without a doubt, Beck. I know that with the holiday season approaching, that can trigger people to use. Keep this group in mind. Think of us that extended an invite to help. Yes, everybody, please do. Remember, we're here for you. And trust me, I will be doing a lot of these around the holidays. Oh, me too, Sally. It's fucking. You know why for me though? Because when you sell crack, you don't ever want to do it. Okay, and now there's dealers that do, or have whatever. But when you see, like, here's what you see when you sell cocaine. I was not selling powder cocaine to people in the slums. Okay, I was when I started selling it. I wasn't even in the city yet. I was in the fucking suburbs. Okay. And you sell some cocaine to some fucking 18, 19-year-old fucking smoking hot chicks or something. They go out, have a fucking ball. You don't hear from them for another 2 weeks till they go out again. Or kids, college kids, stuff like that. Um, People your age, whatever, too. You sell them some coke and they go have a ball and that's it. They wake up the next day and they go about their lives. That's what you generally see. There are, of course, people, and I had several customers, many, who were fully addicted like I was, and they couldn't stop. They'd go on binges, at the very least 3-4 day binges. But for the most part, it was people who just used it to party. And partying's fun, right? That it looks good. That's why cocaine has always been glamorized the way it has. Look at Hollywood. Look at movies like Scarface. It looks like the greatest thing in the world in that fucking movie. Look at a lot of the shit we know that went on during the 80s and even 90s and stuff that was so fucking um, appealing, desirable. The fucking parties, the clubs, the women, the fucking women love coke more. Listen, that coke does something to a woman. You guys know what I'm saying, right? So that's why drug dealers love to let girls know they have coke, because guess what? Now you got them too. Let's just go to a hotel. It's on. Hold on a second, guys. My mom. All right, guys. Let me see. I would say cocaine was somewhat socially acceptable in comparison to most other drugs. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was fucking cocaine is glamorous. That's how at least the way it used to look. Not so much anymore. It's different. There's more of a stigma behind it, but still not even. compared to other drugs, it's nothing. You know what I mean? Other drugs is like, ew, but cocaine is just, yeah, let's do it. And that's the thing about it, is that just like I said, it's cocaine becomes a tool. It does. Cocaine becomes a tool. For me, it was a hangover cure. It was a fucking drunkenness cure. If I'm fucking wasted and I'm fucking falling asleep, or I'm so goddamn lit that I can't even fucking see straight, you just take a couple bumps and you're brand new, and then you can keep drinking, which is what you really want to do, because that comes with, partying and shit comes with drinking. It's fucking mandatory. If you're tired, it wakes you up. If you have no energy, I had a girl, Puerto Rican chick, bad bitch too. I just had to throw that in there. Sorry, I'm sick. Every Sunday she would get like a 50 from me. That was it. Only on Sunday. You know why? Sunday was house cleaning day. And she just wanted the energy to just run around the house like the fucking Tasmanian devil and clean up. No lie. I had all types of customers who bought it for different fucking reasons. But mainly it was always a party drug. And once you do it, it's like, I was talking to somebody on the phone earlier about this. You don't realize sometimes that you're even developing a problem. You don't. And that's how it works with most drugs most of the time. You do them. Okay. All this bad stuff you heard about this particular drug, whatever, it goes away once you feel it. Once you feel the euphoria and stuff that comes with this fucking drug, it's like, forget everything everybody told me. This is my shit. And then you think you're just doing it recreationally, but then you start doing it more and more often. Like, I'll give you an example. In the 2000s, I had a family, I had a home, I had vehicles, I had a business, all that shit. Okay. So when I got back into coke, because I hadn't done it from like maybe 98, 99 until maybe, I haven't done, let me see, 98, 99. I'd say 99 because it was around the time I had the seizure. But I actually stopped doing coke, a while before I had that seizure. I started drinking so much, I didn't even care about coke anymore. I'd say 2004, 2005. And I'll tell you how, and then I'll get to, don't let me forget. My point is, how I started doing certain things more and more so I could do more and more coke. I had loaned DJ equipment to another DJ, and that DJ fucked up one of my turntables. Okay. He fucked it up. And he got it fixed for me, but it was a major inconvenience and it pissed me the fuck off. If I remember the story correctly, I run into him at Ada's, the club I used to go to, after hours and shit. And, just for the trouble, he threw me, it might have been a ball, you know what I'm saying? And let's just say, without getting too detailed, I had a wonderful fucking night. Use your imagination. I had a wonderful fucking night. Okay. And all of a sudden, for the first time in years, I wanted to have coke on me. And again, this is subconscious. You think, like, in my mind, it's like, damn, it's nice just having this shit because the little stuff I used, the night he gave it to me, the rest I'm just going to bag up and sell. Then it's like you start to remember, wow. And I'm still selling mad weed at this time. It's like, wow, you could have something so much smaller and make so much more money. I forgot how great selling coke was. When in all honesty, the real appeal to selling coke was just always having it because I had so much fucking fun that night. And it reminded me how great it was that I just wanted to always have it on me. So in case I ever wanted it, I never had to look for it and I could do as much as I wanted. But I was still very much under control. I did it maybe on weekends, but the more and more I did it, the more it was like, okay, when do I do coke? I do coke when I go to Ada's and I drink. Because that was my spot. I told you guys, I was never a bar person, a club person. I hated clubs because I made a living in them. And any time you work anywhere, you don't want to spend your fucking free time there. Okay. I didn't like the crowds. That's why I like just being up in my DJ booth. I might have a couple of people with me, and the crowd is just, let me just make you dance, and we don't need to, have any other contact with that. um, I was never a crowd person, never liked clubs, never liked bars. So Ada's was my spot. And Ada's, anybody from York City could tell you, it was like the fucking Cheers of York City. Everybody knew each other. You had to be a member. If you weren't a member and you wanted to become a member, you needed at least two people who were members to sign for you. And you still needed to do an application process and pay a yearly fee. Okay. So the people who were in there, a lot of the people were members. Thank you, Miss Can't Be Wrong. Not that one. For years and years, and even the ones that were new members, like you might have been a new member, them from the streets. You know what I'm saying? So that was my spot. That's the only place I went. Even when I DJ'd, I when I got off, I get off at 2 a.m. The bars are closed. That's another reason. The only place to go is Ada's. It stays open till 4:30 in the fucking morning, I remember when I was DJing in Harrisburg for 18 months, I would fucking get off work. I would haul fucking ass. I'd get from Harrisburg to fucking Ada's by like 2:40, 2:45. And I still had close to a couple of hours. And then on nights, well, I'll get to that. But that's how I started doing it, is that, my deal with myself is I only do Coke when I go to Ada's. I only go to Ada's after I DJ. And then I fucking, I drink, and that's it. That's where I do my Coke. That's it. I don't do it at home. I don't do it anywhere else. Then all of a sudden I start looking for reasons to go to Ada's more often, because Ada's is the place where I've decided I'm allowed to drink as much as I want and do as much Coke as I want. So now it's like not even just nights I DJ. Now it's just any given night. I get in a fight with my girlfriend and I would go to Ada's. Sometimes I felt like I might have even started fights just so I had a reason to walk out and go to Ada's. I would go there and I would drink and I would get high and I would sell Coke, because that's the other thing I did there. There were several of us in there that sold Coke, but we all had our customers. Nobody really stepped on anyone else's toes. And, more and more, it was like I went from going 2, maybe 3 nights a week to 5, maybe 6 nights a week, and then 7 nights a week. I was living there. I went there. I had a fucking routine. I'd walk in. As soon as the bartender saw me, she'd give me a 151 and Coke. I would go back to the little kitchen area. The guy would give me, depending on the night, it was clam night, a couple of dozen clams. Usually it'd be like a buffalo chicken wrap, sometimes a steak, whatever. Most of the time you already knew what I wanted based on the night. Okay. And I'd get my food, I'd get my drinks, I'd sit down, I would eat, and then boom, a couple more drinks and start getting fucking high. Go in the bathroom, just a constant stream of people going in and out of the bathroom getting high. And I would sell all my Coke there, but then even beyond that, you look for other reasons. Like I told you, a tragedy took place at my house. Now it was like, well, now I have every reason in the world to just become a full-blown fucking addict. And that, I didn't think that way. It's subconscious. You don't think that that's what's going on in your head, but it is to an extent, Who could blame me now? Who could blame me if I'm sitting in my yard with a gun and a fucking bottle of fucking rum and an ounce of Coke? Who could blame me? I have a reason to. Look what happened, that type of shit. So anyway, yeah, you figure out ways to increase the frequency of your use, because you just want more and more reasons to use and more time to use. You hear that? Fucking peanut. Larry Kudlow admitted to doing hundreds of thousands worth of blow a year while being the chief financial advisor at Bear Stearns, a company that no longer exists. Wow. I didn't know that. Well, look at oh yeah, 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 yeah. Well, chicks in general. Chicks it's like it's an aphrodisiac. It's like you give a chick cocaine and that's it. She's naked, and you know. It's the easiest thing in the world. That shit, well, I don't want to get too, I want to be a pig, but it makes women extremely horny. Okay, it does. It's known for that. Same with me. I did mushrooms twice, then said never again. I like it too much. Oh, you got to know. Yeah, you got to know. Your limits. Peanut is screaming right now. Let me get him and put him out real quick, guys. Give me a second. It's a good thing he's adorable because that little fucker don't give me a moment's rest. You think there's a stigma behind Coke now? No, no, no. Don't get me wrong. Like I said not that much. But what I mean is, it's not back then. There was no real stigma because of the people who were doing it. It was fucking celebrities, it was rock stars, all that shit. And I'm not saying a lot of them aren't still doing it now, but it was very much out in the open, the clubs, the Studio 54s, places like that. Okay, everybody, musicians, actors, uh, you know, um, athletes in some cases, everybody. It was just out there in the open. And it was, I think, America's drug of choice, honestly. It's not like that now. People don't see it as glamorous, I don't think, and it's not America's drug of choice anymore. Opioids are, sadly enough. So I'm not saying there's a stigma like there is with crack. Of course not. Cocaine will never be seen. Powder will never be seen like crack is. But I think there's a little bit more of a stigma now than there was then, because then, like I said, man, in my fucking 20s, in the 2000s, like 2000, to maybe, I don't know, it probably still is like that. But my years in the clubs and shit like that, it was like weed. Everybody, guys, I mean, I remember being at Ada's. One of the members brought in a bachelorette party. It was 13 chicks, all dressed up in their, whatever, with their things on and all that horse shit, whatever they do at bachelorette parties. They were at the table doing lines. They didn't even go in the fucking bathroom. And these were like not like what you think, like ghetto hood shit. These were prissy, beautiful, suburban, well-to-do women. You know what I'm saying? I remember seeing it. I told you the radio stations. I used to DJ on the radio a lot. 96.9, 99.3 Kiss FM, several different radio stations. Okay. And I would have DJs that would have to be with me in the DJ booth, because they're working off my music. They're making their announcements. You know how they do it? They end their announcement right before the lyrics start or whatever, the vocals, the song. You know how they do it. They're pretty good at that shit. They talk over intros, things like that. And they're promoting you. They're doing whatever they're fucking doing. But your music you're playing is on the radio. Okay, so you got to have them with you. I will tell you that almost every single radio DJ I had with me brought their own cocaine with them and was doing it right there in the booth with me. It was actually a fucking nightmare because there was nights I told you about where I would have rather died than do more coke. But there they are. Even if I didn't bring it with me, they have it. You know, when I say everybody, I mean everybody. Mothers, fathers, it didn't matter. People of all ages. And it was like that in the 90s too. But, you know, I was too young, you know, in the 2000s, once I was able to start really going to the clubs and bars and shit like that where I was DJing and stuff and seeing this shit. It was like, wow, you know, every fucking buddy, the bartenders are doing blow, like everybody. And it was so socially acceptable. I don't know if it is anymore because I'm not out there anymore. You know, but my assumption is that there's a little more of a stigma behind it now than there was then. My ex-husband was a dealer and would leave town with me alone in the house with several keys and thousands of quaaludes. I'm a fearful person. Can you imagine? Holy shit. Fuck that. Tried coke once. I wasn't impressed. LOL. Guess illegal drugs weren't my thing. It was probably bad coke. Not to be a dick, but I never heard anybody say cocaine wasn't my thing once they tried it. But no, of course that's possible. And you're very lucky, Jesse. You don't want to like cocaine. You know, because, yeah, and remember, cocaine is one of those hidden addictions we talk about. Not always, but I spent years on cocaine at work and all types of social situations, and nobody knew I was on cocaine. I mean, I'm not talking about nights at Ada's and parties and, you know, stuff like that. I'm talking about in my regular life where I was a normal person, a father, and, you know, a businessman, a boyfriend, stuff like that. Nobody knew. My own girlfriend didn't know I was on coke 24 hours a fucking day. You know, because I got to the point where I could do it without drinking. That wore off very, very quickly because I think my heart got worse and worse. But there was a time there where I could do coke without drinking. So if I'm not drinking, you're not going to know I'm on coke. You're not, you know, because when you're addicted to cocaine, you're not. The stupid fucking idea that the cocaine speeds you up and you're running around like a mental patient or you're talking a mile a minute. Now, maybe when you first start doing coke, just like anything else, you build a tolerance. It's not like that after a while. And if you get really good coke, let me tell you, it's not like that at all. I mean, most of the shit that speeds you up is not the cocaine, it's the cut. So, you know, I told you I could fucking do a couple of lines of some fire and then eat a meal and go to sleep. And I would do a line before I went to sleep. Didn't even keep me up. It just doesn't work the same way. Just like any other drug, once you're hooked on it. Once you've done it enough. The handful of times I did blow only made me paranoid and want to clean. Well, that's one thing that's certainly unappealing. The fucking Jesus fuck, man. The paranoia that comes with it. I got some horror stories I could tell maybe another time. Let me see if I got an email. I've been waiting on an important email. Okay. Yeah, nextdistro.org, guys. Don't forget. Narcan, get it. You're not alone out there. Help is available. You got to ask for it and accept it. Yep, that's all. I knew there was times I started fights so that I could do what I wanted to do. Oh, yeah. You know, there's some shit that when I think about it, makes me want to fucking cry. Seriously. And there was I think it might have been my 18th birthday. My mom got everybody together some family members, my brother, his girl, some cousins, stuff like that, and had a big, huge thing set up at Red Lobster, had a big, huge table set up and shit. And, they had some gifts and a little bit of decorations for the table, shit like that for my birthday. And I was supposed to meet them. And I had been doing coke that day and drinking. And I was so fucking geeked out that I got to the restaurant. I sat down and you know what it's like when you're geeking out. And you can't even get your mind off cocaine. You don't want to even be in a situation like that, because it's like you can't just whip out your coke and do it. You're trying to hide this from people. And I remember having to leave that dinner before it even fucking started. Shit like that. I think about that, and this is why I told you, there's certain things with my mom now that she got the prognosis that she did, that I'm trying to make up for, Yeah. My rule was I only did coke that was mine, so no one could control me with it, telling me how much I could do. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I was always in control. I was the guy with the coke, so not only could I control how much I do, but I can control how much you do. Just like you're saying you don't want people doing to you. Yeah. Peanut is FBS's baby. It's Shanna's baby. He's all right. Fucker. I get mad at him, but he's so fucking cute. Like, you can't look at that face and get mad. You can, or at least you can't stay mad. Now, Rusty, usually I do. 9 times out of 10 I do, but Rusty is upstairs in the bedroom with Shanna because Shanna's sleeping. And I'm right here. If I wasn't right here, I wouldn't leave him out there by himself. He's always got his bodyguard, Rusty, with him. Oh, yeah, Michael Hensley, of course. And that's another reason, too, Tony Ducks, that I say that is because, cocaine can't be seen anymore as what it used to be. You knew back in the day that the worst thing that could happen when you purchase cocaine is that it could be trash. The worst thing that could happen. Now, it's all over the news and shit. Fucking people died from cocaine that had fentanyl in it. Everybody's afraid to, well, not everybody, unfortunately, but a lot of people are afraid to even buy coke because it might have fentanyl in it. I told you, as horrible as fentanyl is, and the amount of lives it's taken makes me sick. But in my case, even if I were to relapse, I would never do coke again. Never in a million years, because it might have that shit in it. Not in a million fucking years. You couldn't get me to, I don't give a fuck how bad I want it. It's completely out of the question for me now. And that's another thing, that's why I say it has a little bit more of a stigma, I think, than it used to. Like I said, back in the day, for fucking year, for decades, you bought a bag of coke, the worst that's going to happen is it's garbage. Oh, Miami in those days, I can't even imagine how great it was. Matthew Perry had 17 rehabs. God almighty. We know any more about him yet, or his death? When I was going out to clubs and bars, cocaine was everywhere and it was out in the open. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It wasn't even a fucking secret. I had everything. I had the little thing, the little bumper, a little metal fucking container you fill with coke. Turn it over and turn the thing. It puts a bump in there. Open it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had all that shit, so I could be anywhere. You wouldn't even know. I just turn my head a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it is. You go in the bathroom real quick. Guys, you want to hear a funny fucking story? This is 1,000% true. This is known locally here. I DJ'd for Bubba Sparks, okay? You guys, hip-hop heads, no one else will know, but Bubba Sparks had that song, Miss New Booty. Remember that? It was a really big radio hit. Billboard charts, all that shit. And, around the release of that song, I DJ'd for him. I was DJing at a club called Bahama Mama on West Market Street. I pointed out the place to you when I did one of my little fucking drives or walks. Yeah, my walks. Um, I DJ'd there and they had Bubba Sparks. And Bubba came with a friend or two and a whole bunch of, dancers and stuff, bad bitches, and he was throwing out the little tiny shorts that said Miss New Booty on them, throwing them out to all the girls. He gave me a box of them to throw out, stuff, little tiny wife beaters that said some shit on them, stuff like that he brought with him. And my job was literally, because these rappers are amazing. Like, there's really no work put into some of their shows. None. All they do is rap. He had backup dancers at least, but my job was to put his instrumentals on. So I had an order, a list of instrumentals that had to be played in order so he could rap to his songs. Hold on one second, guys. All right. So what was I saying? Oh, I DJ'd for him. I just put on his instrumentals and stuff. He did his performance. He might have done 20 to 30 minutes on stage. It wasn't a real big deal. Now, in Bahama Mama, there was 2 stories. I was up on the second floor, in that club. The building, I think, was 4 or something like that. But there was 2 stories in the club. The first story, there was a bar, and then I think it was called the Market Street Saloon or some shit. And then there was the Bahama Mama above it that was 2 stories of the building. And I was on the second story in a DJ booth, and where the performers would perform was like more of a dance floor area than anything. But they would set up a little stage on the floor below it. So I was looking down at Bubba Sparks and his dancers and shit. Any fucking way. It was cool. I met him, I DJ'd for him and stuff, and he threw out the little shorts to the girls. He had everybody dancing. He had his backup dancers. He left. He went across the street to what was called the York Hardware Bar, which was a big bar. I don't know if you guys know what the hardware bars are like. They have them a lot of places. It's like Coyote Ugly. It's exactly like that. Everything. The girls have synchronized dances. They get up on the fucking bar. They're half naked. The bartenders, they fucking dance. They have a barber chair where they'll sit a guy in a chair on the fucking bar and pour a shot into his mouth. All this different. The women were like fucking. The employees, let's just say the owner's standards were very high for the women he fucking hired. It was a nice place to be. And it was owned by the same guy as Bahama Mama. He had like 4 or 5 clubs on the same block, and I showed you that stuff. One of them, I might have showed you a Rainbow store. That was York Hardware Bar, and behind it was Ice Nightclub, which I wound up being the DJ there. And after Bahama Mama, and downstairs there was the Vertigo and the Rain Lounge, 2 sick ass clubs. I remember being in the bathroom one night taking a piss, and there was a guy there from Manhattan, and he couldn't believe it. He goes, "Bro, I can't believe this club is in this town." He said it's exactly like a Manhattan nightclub, because that owner put millions into his clubs. He still owns half of fucking Second Street in Harrisburg, all the partying, all the clubs. It's all his. I think he branched out to Scranton, Philly. He's all over the place. They used to call him Little Donald Trump. Anyway, sorry about all that if I bored you. But Bubba Sparks leaves Bahama Mama and he goes across the street to the hardware bar. And he got caught in the bathroom doing cocaine off the sink. And they kicked him the fuck out. No lie. He got caught. The bouncers walked in. I believe he had a drug problem at the time. I mean, I guess it would be kind of obvious if he was doing that. I don't even know what got me into telling that story, but Oh, Michael Hensley. I have experiences I don't even want to tell you about with cocaine psychosis and everything else. The paranoia is so unbelievable sometimes. Everything one thinks coke is supposed to make you go to the bathroom. That's bullshit. It's the cut that makes you have to go. But people would do coke, then have to use the bathroom and think the shit was good. Yeah, well, it's like Christopher Moltisanti said. I think it was him and another guy in a car or something. They said something like, just the smell of paper money makes me have to take a shit and all that because they're talking about rolling a bill. And yeah, they used to put baby laxative and shit in coke to cut it. I never did. I used an acetol powder like most drug dealers. You buy it at any vitamin store. It's odorless, tasteless, but looks exactly like coke. Um, I'll say this because that's what it was. It was there's a couple of things. Okay, the baby laxative would make you have to shit as soon as you did the coke, like within seconds sometimes. But what happens is that becomes psychological, and then even when you're doing coke that doesn't have any baby laxatives in it, it's just in your brain as soon as you do coke that you have to shit. Because it's like what was it, Pavlov's dog? I think that story, that type of thing. It's just ingrained in you now. You do coke, and it's just like the dog. I think it was what he the bell rang and he knew it was time to eat. Well, same shit. Um, and let me tell you, for certain people, I'm not going to say who. I might be one of them. It don't matter. It's sometimes just the thrill of getting the coke that makes you have to go to the bathroom. The thrill, like if you haven't had any for a while or something like that, or you just re-up and you got some new shit that they're telling you is fucking fire, and you know I had a fucking guy. He was a should I say this? Yeah, fuck it. He was a prison guard, a local prison guard. Okay, but he was also a guy that I grew up with and knew for fucking years. I met him when I was probably 15 years old. Okay, I knew him. I knew his sister, and he this guy was making fucking. He's probably bringing home with all his overtime and shit like 1,800 a fucking week. It was insane the money he was making. Him and the other COs. And I knew that throughout the week, he did coke every single day. Okay, but of course, a day or two here and there, he might have to skip or. Like I'll tell you what I did with him. He would fucking every like Thursday he got paid. He would spend like 300 right off the bat. And then later that night, maybe another 200. And the next day, maybe 400. And until he was out of fucking money. And then what he would do is he would ask me to front him. But I would always give him a limit. You know, I think his limit was like 400 a week. So throughout the week, he would come to me and I would front him until he hit that limit. And that was it. Then you can't have any more. So he might have to go a couple days without it certain weeks. Every time this motherfucker came to my house to buy cocaine, he had to run in my bathroom and take a shit. It pissed me off. I don't want people shitting in my fuck. You know what I mean? Come on. I'm such a clean freak. Everything's immaculate. Fuck out of here. I don't want anybody taking a shit in my house who doesn't, unless it's absolutely necessary. Don't come to my house to buy coke and then shit. Buy the coke and go somewhere else and take a shit. All right. But that's what he used to do. It was his routine. It used to piss me off every time. But with him, I'm telling you, it was just the thrill. I know it was. He even told me that. Even if he just went fucking 5-6 hours without any and he finally got some, he'd have to run to the bathroom. It was crazy. It was cut with all types of shit. It was, at one point, and it might still be till this day sometimes. Malitol, is that what it was? Yeah, I always used an acetol. That's what I used. A lot of people call it isotol. It's not what it's an acetol. You can get it at any vitamin shop. Keep an eye on who, Miss Campiro? Fentanyl is the devil. It is. It's taking higher doses of Narcan to bring people overdosing back around now. Is it really? I'm not surprised. Oh yeah, back sure does. What are you talking about? Are you talking? Oh, Matthew Perry? Yeah, I think so. Do you really know Bubba Sparks? Is that right, Miss Campion? He's from your neck. I thought he was from Georgia. You really know him? FBS, there was a York Steel around Market Street. Sounds familiar. Yes, absolutely. York Steel. Yeah, big company. There's actually a lot of big factories and stuff in York, PA. People don't realize it's known for that. That's why, like I said, felon or no felon, if you're in York, PA, and you're saying you can't get a job, you're full of shit. You are full of shit. If I wanted a factory job this week, I could apply tomorrow and have one by Friday. I guarantee it. There's factories every fucking where. Just the food. This was at one point the fat capital of the nation, as far as obesity and stuff, because of all the fucking snack companies. You got, what is it, Wolf Chocolates, I think, Stouffer's, the cookie company, Martin's potato chips, Snyder's or pretzels, I think. There were York Peppermint Patty was here, York. A Frito Lay. There's so many in fucking Hanover, I can't even begin to remember them all. And there's a lot in York. And then other factories too, publishing companies and warehouses, distribution centers. This county is packed with all that shit. $100 a gram of coke, 200 to use the bathroom. Yeah, no shit. Good afternoon, everybody. It's great you showed up. Keep battling one day at a time. That's right. War. I brought my own toilet paper. FBS. Yeah, well, people could at least do that. Oh, really, Tatone? Oh, that's what's up. There's a lot of shit here, man. York Barbell. There's fucking York International. That was here. That's a huge fucking company. And there was actually an explosion there. It killed one of my friend's fathers years ago. Yes, Tony Ducks. Yeah, look it up. Look, watch. Where did York Peppermint Patty get manufactured? York peppermint patties were first produced in York, Pennsylvania in 1940 by Henry Kessler at his York Cone Company. In 1988, the York Cone Company merged with the Hershey Company. I forgot about Hershey. That's not in York, but in 2009, after 23 years in the Reading plant, production of the York peppermint patty moved to Reading, moved from Reading, Pennsylvania to Mexico. The current owner of York Peppermint Patties is Tootsie Roll Industries, which produces more than 15 million junior mints a day, whatever. Yeah, the guy that created the York Peppermint Patty lived in the city. He lived in York City. I think it was Madison Avenue. If it wasn't Madison, it might have been Pennsylvania, which I lived on. I lived on Madison at one point. But yeah, that's York Peppermint Patty. That's funny, Toad. Oh shit. There's so many though. I mean, I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. Oh, we also have Kellogg's here. Um, York, PA food manufacturing plants. There's KBT Foods. I think it's called Meiji America, which owns Stouffer's now, the company I work for. Bickles Snack Foods. Frito Lay, Cocoa Tech, Rise Baking Company, Etline Foods Corporation, Sarah's Sweets and Savory Snacks, Stauffer Biscuit Company Distribution Facility, uh, let me see, Mighty Mouth Seasoning Company. I don't think this one. This is a chemical place. Honey Bunches of Oats York Factory. Philly Pretzel Factory, Queen Street. Oh, that's not a factory. That's the place. Dawn Food Products, they do cakes and shit like that for Entenmann's and stuff. Miller Plant Farm, Hanover Foods Corporation, B&T Cheese Company, Reisinger Poultry, Big John. Oh, this is a store, I think. It says manufacturer, but Anstein's Candy, but Anstein's, no, that's a candy store. I think that's not a factory. The rest of them that I named are all factories. Wolfgang Candy Company, Snyder's of Hanover Factory Store, and that's also where the manufacturing plant is. Yeah, there's a lot, man. A lot. Who would have thought? Yeah. Tony Ducks, back in the day, my city was the brass capital of the world. We had huge brass factories that built all kinds of stuff. Oh, really? I didn't know that. We're still known as the Brass City and the Dirty Water. Oh, shit. All right, Sally. Well, listen, I got to go anyway, guys. Unfortunately, I have things I got to go do as usual. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you. Please write down these numbers: National Addiction Hotline, Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Keep those handy. Keep them in your pocket, purse, man bag, wallet, fanny pack, fifth pocket. If you're a kangaroo, keep them in your pouch. I don't care where you put them. But have those numbers close by. Just, I don't know, memorize them. That'd be even better. Of course, then again, if you're struggling with addiction, you might not remember. Keep them close by. And nextdistro.org. Go watch a little video, fill out a little 5-minute quiz thing, whatever. Put in your information and boom, you got your free Narcan. You'll get 4 of those. Okay, that's 4 lives you could save. Please do that immediately. Thank you for everything. I love you all. And until next time, salute.